Welcome, everyone. I hope you're not just watching this video. I hope you are here to wake up. Today, I'm not here to motivate you. I'm here to hold up a mirror that shows you the truth, not about the world, not about your job, your money, your parents, or your past. I want to show you the truth about you and about the one thing quietly shaping your entire life, even when you don't notice it, your choices. Every success, every failure, every regret, every breakthrough, none of it is luck or destiny. It all comes from choices. Sometimes they're small, sometimes they're silent, sometimes they're repeated for years. And the scary part is this: you are always one choice away from a completely different life. But most people never make that important choice. They wait, they hope, they complain, they scroll, and they don't even realize that these are also choices. Today, you will finally see what you've been doing to yourself. And after this video, you won't see your life in the same way again. This journey will also improve your English, because here, you don't just learn English, you feel it, you grow with it. Listen closely. Let every word sink in. And if you're ready to grow, make sure you subscribe. Now let's begin with the deep psychology behind choice, why we keep choosing the life we don't want, and how to break the cycle. Let me ask you something. Why do smart people stay stuck? Why do people say they want success, but spend hours watching Netflix? Why do people say they want to change, but repeat the same routine every single day? The answer is simple, but dangerous. Most people don't understand the hidden psychology behind every choice. Your brain hates difficult choices. It is built for survival, not success. It doesn't care about your dreams. It only cares about keeping you safe. And the easiest way to stay safe, according to your brain, is to stay comfortable. So every time you must choose between waking up early or sleeping in, starting a business or staying in a job you hate, facing discomfort or avoiding it, your brain pushes you toward comfort, even if that choice ruins your future. To your brain, safety feels more important than success. This is the trap. Almost every choice you make is driven by emotion, not logic. You think you're making rational decisions, but you're not. You make emotional decisions and then create logical explanations later. You say, I didn't go to the gym because I was tired. But the truth is, you didn't go because the emotional discomfort of moving was stronger than the emotional reward of change. Success isn't about making smart choices. It's about training yourself to make uncomfortable choices again and again. Now let's talk about the loop, the reason you keep repeating the same life. Each time you choose comfort, you reinforce a pattern. You're not just choosing once, you're teaching your brain what to expect. Your brain learns, oh, this is what we do. We skip the workout, we postpone the work, we avoid the risk, and it becomes easier to make the same choice next time. This is how people stay the same for 5, 10, even 20 years. One wrong choice repeated thousands of times, one unhealthy relationship, one missed chance, one small excuse that becomes a lifestyle. Your identity is not fixed. It's just the result of repeated choices. You think you're shy. That was a choice. You think you're lazy. That came from thousands of lazy moments. You think you're not confident, but that's not your personality. It's your pattern. If you want to change who you are, you don't need a new life. You just need new choices. The most dangerous choice is avoiding choice. Most people don't choose growth or comfort. They simply avoid deciding. They live on autopilot. They say later, next time, maybe someday. But avoidance is still a choice, and it's the most damaging one. Because if you don't choose your future, the world will choose it for you. And the world doesn't care about your dreams. How many times have you said, I had no choice? I had to take this job. I had to stay in this relationship. I had to do this. But the truth is, you always had a choice. You just didn't want the pain that came with the better one. You chose the easier pain. There is no such thing as having no choice. There is only the choice you were too afraid to make. Every small choice creates your big life. If you want change, don't search for one huge decision. Choose to wake up early. Choose to read a few pages. Choose to avoid junk food. Choose to ignore distractions. Choose to speak when you feel scared. Choose to face your pain instead of escaping it. These small, simple, uncomfortable choices slowly build the version of you that you dream about. Take a deep breath. Because everything I've said leads to one truth. You are the architect of your life. You are not stuck. You are not broken. You are not powerless. You just need to choose differently. And once you do, your life will begin to change quietly, slowly, and powerfully. Now let's look at the first major choice, comfort versus pain. This is the choice that separates the majority from the few who rise. Every day, without noticing, you choose your future with this decision. Comfort feels safe, warm, familiar. But comfort has a dark side. Comfort slowly kills dreams. Comfort weakens confidence. Comfort makes you believe that tomorrow is always an option. Comfort creates a life that looks calm but feels empty. Pain, on the other hand, is uncomfortable. It requires courage, but pain shapes you. Pain builds discipline, strength, and character. Pain removes your old self and helps your new self grow. Pain gives you what comfort never will, a life you are proud of. Imagine walking into a building with two rooms. Room one is comfort, soft bed, warm lights, perfect temperature, unlimited food, and a big screen playing your favorite shows. Everything in the first room feels easy. No effort, no struggle. But when you look around, you notice something sad. You see people with empty eyes, people who never started anything real, people who wasted their gifts, people who once had potential but never used it, people who now regret their whole lives. The room is comfortable, but the energy is lifeless. Now step into the second room. This is the room of pain. The floor is cold. The work is hard. The mind feels pressure. There is sweat, effort, and discomfort. The people in this room are tired, but they keep going. They push forward. They work. They choose discipline. They choose growth. They fall, but they rise again. They fail, but they try again. They break, but they rebuild. They are not perfect. They are improving. When you stand here, you feel something alive, purpose, fire, real life. Both rooms have their own kind of discomfort. The first room is physically comfortable but emotionally painful. The second room is physically painful but emotionally powerful. So the real question becomes, which pain do you choose? The pain of discipline or the pain of regret? Because discipline hurts for a moment, but regret hurts forever. Most people spend their entire lives choosing the comfortable conversation, the comfortable routine, the comfortable path, and they never notice that comfort slowly stole their future. Remember this: discomfort is the price of your future. Pay it every day. That is the first choice. Choice two: responsibility versus blame. This choice changes everything, more than motivation, more than goals, more than discipline. This is the choice that turns an ordinary person into an unstoppable one. Most people wake up and instantly choose blame. They blame their circumstances, they blame their past, they blame their parents, they blame society, they blame luck, their partner, their job, everything except themselves. Blame is addictive. Blame feels good for a moment. Blame protects your ego. Blame makes you believe nothing is your fault. But every time you blame someone else, you lose power over your life. Blame traps you. Responsibility frees you. Why do we blame? Because blame removes guilt. It tells you it wasn't my fault, I couldn't do anything. And for a moment, you feel safe. But it is fake safety, because when you blame, you give control to someone else. If someone else is responsible for your life, then you cannot change anything. You become weak, powerless, and stuck. Without knowing it, you become a victim of your own choices. Responsibility is the beginning of true power. It is not guilt. It is not shame. It is not saying, I am wrong. Responsibility simply means, this is my life, and I choose what happens next. Responsibility gives you strength. It gives you direction. It gives you control. The moment you take responsibility, your life stops being random and starts becoming designed. Imagine a man sitting in a room. In front of him is an empty chair. He blames that chair for everything. My life is bad because of that chair. I failed because of that chair. I have no confidence because of that chair. I am unhappy because of that chair. Every morning he looks at it and says, you ruined my life. One day someone walks in and asks, why don't you just remove the chair? The man goes silent. He realizes something shocking. The chair wasn't controlling anything. His choice to keep blaming it was. He could have removed the chair anytime, but he didn't. Not because he couldn't, but because blaming the chair was easier than changing himself. Now think about your life. What is your chair? A person, a memory, a mistake, an excuse, a situation? You could remove it, but you don't, because blaming feels easier than growing. Blame gives emotional comfort. Responsibility gives emotional growth. Blame feels good today. Responsibility feels good forever. Blame keeps your ego safe. Responsibility builds your character. Blame keeps you stuck. Responsibility sets you free. Your life begins to improve the moment you say, my life is my responsibility. Not the world's, not my past, not my circumstances. This one sentence has changed millions of lives. It will change yours too, because responsibility gives you back the one thing you forgot you had: power. Power to change, power to rebuild, power to become someone new, power to rewrite your future. Choice 3, growth versus excuses. You say you want to grow, you say you want a better life, you say you want success, confidence, freedom. But when growth knocks, you hide behind excuses. I don't have time, I'm too tired, I'm not ready, I don't know how, I'll do it later. What if I fail? What if they laugh? Excuses feel real, but they are not truth. They are traps. Every time you choose an excuse over growth, you're not avoiding pain. You're creating a weaker version of yourself. And the more you choose excuses, the more excuses become who you are. Excuses sound logical. They sound smart, but they don't protect you. They slowly kill your potential. They tell you later is okay. They convince you the conditions are not right. They make you feel safe now and lost forever. The truth is simple. Your future is waiting, but it will not wait forever. There is a small voice inside you, a quiet one. It says you can be more, you can do more, you were made for more. But every time you make an excuse, that voice becomes quieter. One day, it disappears. And when it's gone, you look in the mirror and you don't know who you are anymore. You wonder, what happened to me? And the answer is 1,000 small excuses. Imagine two people standing in front of an elevator. This elevator only opens once a year, and it goes to the floor of success. Person 1 runs in and pushes the button. Person 2 says, I'm not dressed properly. Maybe there's a better elevator. What if I don't belong there? Let me wait one more year. The doors close. The next year, person 1 is already far ahead. Person 2 is still standing in the same place. Growth is the elevator. Excuses are the door you never walk through. Every person you admire chose growth when it was painful, lonely, and scary. The only difference between them and you is one thing: they chose differently. Growth is not about motivation. Growth is a battle, you versus you, every day. And the only way to win is to choose. No more excuses. Not tomorrow, not next year, not someday. Now. Choice 4. Long-term versus short-term. Every day you choose between two things, long-term reward or short-term pleasure. And most of the time you don't even realize you're choosing because short-term pleasure is everywhere. Eat junk food or cook something healthy. Scroll Instagram or read one page of a book. Gossip or work. React emotionally or breathe and think. Buy something now or save for something meaningful. Small decisions. Every hour. Every day. And each one either makes you stronger or quietly destroys the future you could have had. Your brain loves short-term rewards. It wants sugar. It wants dopamine. It wants now. If you don't train your mind, your whole life will slowly be controlled by short-term pleasure. That's how people fall into addiction. They keep scrolling. They keep escaping. They keep buying things they don't need. They keep blaming everything except themselves. They choose what feels good for 5 minutes and end up with a life that feels empty for 50 years. Imagine a man digging a hole. Every time he eats junk food, he digs deeper. Every time he ignores his goals, he digs deeper. Every time he avoids reality, he digs deeper. After 10 years, he looks up and the hole is so deep he can't even see the light anymore. The sad part is, he never realized he was digging. He thought he was just relaxing, just having fun, just living life. That's how short-term decisions work. They don't feel destructive in the moment, but they are. Now imagine someone else. They choose the hard things: reading, working, saving, showing up. At first it's boring, difficult, and lonely. But after 10 years, they're not trapped in a hole. They're standing on top of a mountain. Same 10 years, same time, completely different results. Every truly successful person lives with this mindset. If it feels good now, it might cost me later. But if it feels hard now, it will reward me later. They sacrifice today to build a better tomorrow. They delay pleasure so they can earn peace. They walk through the storm so they can own the sunshine. The painful truth is this: you're not punished for your short-term choices. You're punished by them. And you're not rewarded for your long-term choices. You're rewarded by them. So the real question isn't, how do I succeed? The real question is, what am I choosing when no one is watching? Because life is not shaped by big moments. It's shaped by small choices. The food you eat, the scroll you make, the words you say, the hour you use, the emotion you feed, the reaction you choose. Choose the long term, especially when it's hard, especially when no one claps, especially when you're tired. 10 years from now, you will meet the result of the choices you make today. And when that day comes, make sure you can smile and say, I built this. Choice 5, identity versus image. This is a silent battle, and most people don't even know they are fighting it. Every day you must choose. Will you live from your true identity, or will you chase an image you want others to believe? Image is who you pretend to be when the world is watching. Identity is who you truly are when no one is looking. Image is loud. Identity is quiet. Image is performance. Identity is formed through struggle, truth, and values. Image is filters, likes, and attention. Identity makes you strong from the inside. Image only makes you look good from the outside. Here's the tragedy. The more you chase image, the more you lose yourself. Imagine a man who looks successful online. He posts motivational quotes. He shares gym pictures. He talks about discipline. But at night he feels empty. He feels fake. Because every day he chooses image over identity. His outside looks perfect, but his inside is falling apart. And this isn't just influencers or celebrities. This is millions of normal people. People like you and me trying to be seen, liked, and approved. When you chase image, you become a prisoner of opinions. You speak to impress, you act for applause, you hide your real thoughts to stay accepted. You perform your life instead of living it. That's why so many people burn out, not because they do too much, but because they pretend too much. The day you choose identity over image is the day you finally feel peace. You stop fearing judgment. You stop needing approval. You stop losing yourself trying to satisfy others. You're not tired because you're weak. You're tired because you've been pretending. Take off the mask. Choose your real self. Stand in your truth, even if no one claps, even if you lose likes, even if you lose fake friends. At the end of your life, you won't want people to say, he looked successful. You'll want to say, I was free, I was real, I was me. Choice 6, reaction versus reflection. This choice will decide how peaceful or painful your life becomes. Your life isn't ruined by events, it's ruined by how you react to them. Something goes wrong, someone insults you, a plan fails, a person leaves, an opportunity disappears, a dream breaks. In those moments, you have two options: react or reflect. Reaction is fast, emotional, and impulsive. It feels like truth, but it's just your ego fighting to stay in control. When you react, you respond with anger, panic, blame, drama, or silence. You react to protect yourself, but you usually make things worse. Reflection is calm. It's where wisdom lives. You pause, breathe, zoom out, and ask yourself, why did this trigger me? What can I learn? What is this teaching me? How can I respond with clarity? Reflection turns chaos into clarity. Reaction multiplies chaos. Imagine boiling water. Put a carrot, an egg, and a tea bag into it. After 10 minutes, the carrot becomes soft, the egg becomes hard, and the tea bag transforms the water. The same heat, the same pressure, but different responses. Reaction is becoming soft like the carrot, breaking under pressure. Reaction is becoming hard like the egg, cold and closed. But reflection is becoming the tea bag, using the heat to create something better. People who react to everything, every comment, every delay, every message, every opinion, live in emotional chaos. But people who master peace reflect before they respond. They choose their energy. They take their power back. You don't have to attend every fight you're invited to. You don't have to answer every insult. You don't have to fix everything right away. You can pause, think, choose wisely. That's how you grow emotionally. That's how you gain strength. That's how you become wise. Reaction is for children. Reflection is for leaders. Every trigger is a test. Will you respond like your old self or your upgraded self? Choice 7, alone versus approval. This is the most painful choice, the one most people avoid, and the one that shapes your entire life. Every day you choose between being alone with your truth or surrounded by people who love your lie. Approval is addictive. You crave the like, the compliment, the good job, because deep down you fear you're not enough without it. So you start living for others. You say what they want to hear. You act the way they expect. You smile even when you're breaking inside. You become a version of yourself that many people like, but no one truly loves. Not even you. Every time you chase approval, you abandon yourself. You shrink your dreams to fit in. You silence your truth to avoid conflict. You hide your power so others feel comfortable. When you live for approval, you slowly disappear from your own life. You stop dreaming boldly, you stop speaking honestly, you stop acting like your true self. And the cost is huge. You lose your power, your voice, your direction, and your soul. Approval feels good for a moment, but it slowly destroys your identity. But choosing to be alone with your truth, that is where real strength begins. Being alone doesn't mean you have no one. It means you are not willing to lie to yourself just to be accepted. It means you care more about your integrity than about applause. It means you're brave enough to walk away from people who only love the version of you that performs for them. Yes, choosing truth is lonely at first. You might lose people. You might feel isolated. You might doubt yourself. But over time, something powerful happens. You become whole again. You feel your confidence returning. You feel your voice coming back. You feel your life aligning with who you truly are. And then slowly the right people appear. People who respect your truth, value your honesty, and love you without conditions. People who don't need you to pretend. People who don't need you to shrink. People who don't require you to hide your dreams or your feelings. They accept you because you are you, not because of what you perform. This is the real reward of choosing truth over approval: peace, clarity, freedom. You stop chasing attention and start attracting respect. You stop begging to be seen and start being valued. You stop living for the crowd and start living for your soul. So here's the final truth. Your life will always rise or fall based on these small choices: long-term over short-term, identity over image, reflection over reaction, truth over approval. These choices won't make noise. They won't get applause. They won't give you instant pleasure, but they will build a life you're proud of. In the end, you won't remember the likes, the comments, or the opinions. You'll remember the person you became. You'll remember the moments you stood up for yourself. You'll remember the days you stayed true, even when it was hard. And that is what creates a meaningful life. Don't choose comfort. Don't choose approval. Don't choose the easy path. Choose growth. Choose honesty. Choose the version of you that your future self will thank you for. Because one day when you look back, you'll see that every silent choice, every hard decision, every moment of courage, every sacrifice was building the future you're standing in. And when that day comes, you will be able to say with full confidence, I didn't pretend. I didn't follow the crowd. I didn't abandon myself. I became the person I was meant to be. That is the power of choosing truth over approval. That is how you build a life that feels real, strong, and free.